Welcome to CNTV. I'm Brad Claunch along with Quin. We're in the fall and winter months, and with that is flu season.
Doctors encourage everyone to get their flu shots, and they're urging people to continue mitigation efforts to prevent the spread of COVID-19. There is great concern that infection rates are on the rise.
The positivity rate in all the communities that we're doing testing was one of the highest rates we'd ever had for a week. It was at 14%, and that means 14% of the people that came in for testing that week tested positive. Oklahoma right now is recording the 15th worst, if you will, number of new cases per 100,000 of all the 50 United States. And what that means for us in the healthcare sector, why it's getting worse, is that we are starting to see very low bed capacity in ICUs across the state of Oklahoma and really in other states across the nation. And then the other thing is that we're coming into flu season. And there are times during flu season, it's a respiratory virus as well, that we have our hospitals filled with flu cases, with people that have gotten very ill with the flu. And so the healthcare sector is very worried about this combination of COVID, especially now that it's on the rise, a very significant rise in cases, and coming into flu season at the very same time.
I have a report, and it shows that in just a 1 week span, the latest week here, in Chickasaw Nation cases, the number went up more than 1,000 positive cases. Is that a number that concerns you?
It absolutely is a number that concerns me. We watch multiple data sources. We have our own dashboard that we use internally. We have other external ones that we watch, including the state. The state reports, their numbers every day. And that climb is happening in almost all counties of Oklahoma too. So it's getting worse in the Chickasaw Nation. It's getting worse in the state of Oklahoma. It's getting worse across the United States. And we're very, very concerned. And now is the time that we really need to remember those three things that we always speak about. Wash your hands many times a day is convenient for you and your job. The second one is to socially distance. The third aspect of that triad, if you will, is masking. There have been numerous studies now that have shown that masking works. If you do go out into public, make sure that you wear your mask and leave it on until you're back in the safety of your car or your home.
A fourth mitigation effort right now that we're talking about is also getting the flu vaccine.
To get your flu shot. And what I described earlier is the primary reason. We always push, flu vaccination during flu season because it is a serious disease too, and a lot of people die from it. But our concern this year is that combination, of COVID and flu, what it'll do to the hospital capacity, and if someone were to get both of those diseases at the same time, which they think is, possible, it would not be good. And, I'm sure we'll probably see some cases like that as the winter progresses. Wear your mask, wash your hands regularly, social distance, and get your flu shot. And we have, the Chickasaw Nation right now has flu vaccines available at our 4 locations across our 13 county jurisdiction, our clinic at Ardmore, Purcell, and Tishomingo, and here at the Medical Center in Ada. And we are open to the general public as well. We're not just serving, our American Indian and Alaska Native population here locally, but anyone in the community that would like to come get one is welcome.
You're making it very convenient for people in the community to get their vaccines along with the testing sites. So those testing centers, those drive-through testing centers remain open.
Yes, they do. We still have testing centers at our medical center in Ada. We have them at our clinics in Purcell, Tishomingo, and Ardmore. And what we've done with those testing centers, because people have gotten to be familiar with them over the last several months and how they work, We have turned them also into drive-through vaccination sites. If you feel like you're sick and you don't feel well, come to one of our sites and get tested. The other thing I'll say is if you don't feel well and you have any of these symptoms, stay home. Don't go into work, don't go to school, and then come to get tested if you feel like you're not doing well. And so, we're keeping these sites open continuously, and we probably will until we get a handle on this.
During this pandemic, the Chickasaw Nation has partnered with many organizations to help the community. You've recently partnered with the Oklahoma Blood Institute on a very important effort. Can you tell us more about that, Dr. Grimm?
Certainly. We have a long-standing relationship with the OBI, the Oklahoma Blood Institute, and at many of our sites around the nation, have regular blood drives and things. But right now in particular, we've partnered with them on trying to get those people that have had COVID to come in and give blood so that we can get the convalescent plasma from that. It is one of the treatments, one of the three treatment protocols that we and many, almost all, hospitals are using now when you get a very sick COVID patient in your inpatient ward. As the pandemic continues to increase in the number of positives out there, it's going to be harder and harder for the OBI and other entities, that collect blood to have enough for everyone. So we're encouraging everyone to get out and give blood that have had COVID-19. My sense of urgency has never been greater than it is right now. We're seeing increasing numbers of COVID. And when you see that, you see ultimately increase in hospitalizations that follow, as well as deaths that follow those hospitalizations. Right now is the time to not let down your guard on masking. Don't let down your guard on social distancing. And to the extent you can, if there was ever a time to try to not be out in public as much, now is the time to not be out in public as much.
We also spoke with Dr. Grimm about the holidays and COVID-19. He says plan safely, avoid large gatherings. More on that and the latest on COVID-19 on the next episode.
We're also following the construction of a new facility located on the campus of the Chickasaw Nation Medical Center. Construction crews are building this new structure. It's called an alternate site care facility. It will serve as an extension of the medical center, offering an additional 48 patient beds. The facility is also designed for testing and vaccinations. Dr. Grimm will tell us about the alternate site care facility next time on CNTV.
The Chickasaw Nation is part of this program called Farmers to Families. The federal program that launched during the pandemic helps farmers, food distributors, and families during this time. The Chickasaw Nation has donated more than 254,000 pounds of food to local communities. Here's more about the Farmers to Families program.
The way that Chickasaw Nation has chosen to participate in this program is we are serving as a community partner. And so our primary partner is the Regional Food Bank of Oklahoma. All that we have to do in nutrition services is place our order with them. And we have made an agreement that we are going to serve in each of our 13 tribal jurisdictional counties. And then we're on a bi-weekly schedule. And once we identify the location, I place the order with the Regional Food Bank, and we have an agreement for the time that the truck will deliver the food on site. At each event, I schedule a semi-truck of food, and that equals around 33,000 pounds of food that we deliver and distribute at that time on that one day. And with those 3 box types, each family receives a box of produce, a box of frozen meat, and then fresh dairy products, like gallons of milk. We have cars waiting, and the events go quickly, actually. We're there for just a couple of hours and are able to serve 500 families at each event. One of the most heartwarming things for me is when I get to visit with a tribal citizen, and it is so important to them whether they had a large need or not, that Chickasaw Nation, their tribe, met me in my hometown to serve me. And that's an incredible feeling. It's very rewarding because I see that expression on their face, and how meaningful it is to them that we would take the time to come and serve and meet them where they are.
The Chickasaw Nation Farmers to Families food program has served more than a dozen communities and more than 4,600 families.
The next distribution date is November 12th in Tishomingo. For more information, contact Chickasaw Nation Nutrition Services at the number on your screen. The Southeastern Art Show and Market is virtual this year, and it's online through the end of the year. Explore the online market and enjoy the works of more than 100 Southeastern and woodland artists, both adults and youth. This is a great showcase of beautiful original works of art. Visitors to the virtual market may also help decide the winner of the 2020 CSAM People's Choice Award. You may vote one time for one piece of art. Voting ends November 5th. Visit csam.net to view and purchase art now through the end of the year.
Margaret Roach Wheeler is one of the Chickasaw artists featured on CSAM's virtual market. The textile artist was named the 2020 Dynamic Chickasaw Woman of the Year and recently honored as Oklahoma's Creativity Ambassador. We spoke with Margaret Roach Wheeler about her artistic talents, a new textile business, and the honors she's received this year.
It is just humbling, really, at this point in my life to be getting that kind of award and also getting other awards that I have been getting in the last couple of years. It's really the culmination of an artist's career that makes you feel so honored and so blessed to have had such a wonderful life following something that you love. And, you know, I found textiles when I was in my 30s. I was a painter before, and I have a fine arts degree, but went back to work on a master's and got into textiles. So I was late to textiles, but it has been the passion. I knew immediately that that's what I wanted to do with my life. So to be at the point I am now and being honored for the textiles and the art of the textiles is just a blessing to me. It's a true blessing.
What is it about textiles that you want to remind people of or to promote that type of artistry? Because when we think about the things that we wear and to actually make what we wear, that brings back a craft that's traditional.
Yes. Textiles are one of the oldest crafts known to man. And we have been twining together different grasses and bast fibers. And our people, especially in the southeastern United States, were using bast fibers. Other countries had wools, and buffalo was often spun too for early clothing. So yes, textiles have been with us forever and are a tradition for all people. And so it's very important. And I think for me, it was something in my house as I was growing up with my grandmother and my mother. My grandmother lived with us all my life, and all she did was handwork. She embroidered, she crocheted, she knitted, and we had beautiful results from her work. And then my mother also did the same. So I think when I knew I wanted to be an artist, and I got the degree and I was painting and doing sculptures, but when I first sat down at the loom, it brought that all home to me, and how I saw it as an art form, not necessarily a utilitarian thing, and how you can create the cloth to have accents on your body, designs on your body. You can place them where you want them when you weave them in there. So that was just sort of earth-shaking to me, to really realize I could combine the childhood love of family and textiles together and make it my career. So that's probably what the attraction was to me when I found it, because I think I was like 34 years old when I sat down at the loom for the first time, and have been working at it ever since and have never tired of it. It's something I absolutely have loved. And there's so many divisions in it that the variety keeps you interested. I have a Smithsonian fellowship that I got in 2000 that I studied the Mississippian textiles. So in Lowalk was the first time I got to utilize that fellowship with the Smithsonian. I used all the symbolism I'd seen there in the costumes, and I think 10 or 12 of the costumes were hand woven. And so it was really wonderful to implement that, the Smithsonian Fellowship, in with the Chickasaws and our Southeastern traditions. With Lowalk Show production, I did 86 costumes, and they were from, you could say, 900 AD up to the turn of the century. So I covered 1,000 years of Chickasaw clothing in that. And it was remarkable to be able to do that. So, but coming home was just the best of coming back and using the textiles to depict our people.
Tell me about Mahota Textiles.
Well, Mahota Textiles is a new love of mine. In the group, the people that run the show are Bethany McCord, who is the business manager for us, who wrote our business plan, who is the brains behind our business, and then Taloa Underwood, who is the brains behind all of the designs that are coming out now. And our showroom changes every season. So we have 4 different showrooms a year that showcase our products. And we have local artisans that do things for us. We have Joe Pinsa, who does our furniture for us. We'll come up with an idea and give him a picture or a drawing, and Joe will make it for us. And we had a beautiful king-size quilt made by Mary Wiles, a local quilter. In the showroom, we have Marty Andrest, who is doing placemats and things for us out of our fabrics. And so we're trying to get, and we also artwork by local artisans, and we're having once a year we have an artist blanket. And so a Chickasaw artist is designing the blanket for us. And this year right now, it's Joanna Underwood who has a blanket for us. It's just gorgeous. And then Dustin Mater's design was just turned in to us, and we're working on it now. So, and we have a wonderful mill in Pennsylvania, MTL, and they work with us, and they've even come to see us to see our setup. And so it's really, the business is really working well. And it's exciting. And so please come see us at 309 Muskogee, because it's really a beautiful building, and we love it there. It's a fun place to be, and we change it up. So you got to come see us every season.
It's in Sulphur, Oklahoma.
Yes.
So it's a very unique place that
Yes.
showcases so many handmade, handcrafted items that are textile related. So Mahota Textiles is what its name is, right? It says.
Right. Yeah, Mahota Textiles. Mahota is my great-great-grandmother. That's where the name comes from, and she came from Mississippi to Indian Territory.
Margaret, you're such a good mentor for artists, young and old alike. What would you want to inspire in all of us in terms of art and textile art and talents, those talents?
Well, I think I used to teach high school students, and what I tried to impress to them, that what you surround yourself with is art. Most of them, their bedroom was their only really place that was theirs. And I would say, look at your nightstand, look beside your bed. What objects do you have on there? Do they reflect who you are? Do they reflect what you are? Like, what kind of bedspread or what kind of throw do you have on your bed? You need to start making those selections. And, if we surround ourselves with beauty, we feel more content. And I think it's very important for people to really realize who they are and what kind of image they're giving out. And always for me, doing clothing, it was the image you give out is what you wear. So I would talk a lot about that, and developing your own style, and a style that's reflective of you. All of the paintings in my house and sculptures, everything is Southeastern artists. I've been really trying to promote that. And so I'm just so excited. And what you see behind me on the shelf, it is all art that I've collected. And I'm so excited that that's my surroundings. That's what makes me feel good. That's my art. And it's not art I've necessarily produced, but it's art people that I love have produced. And that's what we should all do, is we should be aware of our surroundings and bring that into our lives that make us feel good and give us comfort. And so I've always tried to say, you are the art. You are the one that's creating it. But be aware of it. Be aware of who you are and what you present in our society.
Margaret Roach Wheeler is an inspiration, and so are her textile works. See all of the pieces in this year's collection at mahodatextiles.com.
The pieces are beautiful. Well, we're so glad you joined us for this episode. Quinn and I will see you next time for another edition of CNTV.